For many people, visiting the Eiffel Tower is a lifelong dream. But for older travellers, there's often quite a fear attached to that dream. What if it's just too exhausting? The crowds, the standing, the security lines, the fear of getting stuck somewhere with nowhere to sit. And the truth is, most travel videos on YouTube completely ignore these concerns. So today, I want to show you what the Eiffel Tower actually feels like for older travellers, honestly, calmly, and step by step. Because with the right plan, this can absolutely be a comfortable and unforgettable experience. Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, and welcome to Easy Travel with Andrew. I personally researched the famous destinations with one goal: to find out whether they are truly enjoyable for older travellers, and today we are taking the stress out of the Eiffel Tower. Part 1. The most important decision you will make. Let me save you from the biggest mistake that tourists make. Do not just show up and hope for the best. That's how people end up standing outdoors for 2 or even 3 hours, especially during busy times. Instead, book directly through the official Eiffel Tower website about 60 days before your visit. You want the ticket, which is called the elevator access to second floor. You don't want the stairs and you do not want the summit, just the second floor. And then you can choose a timed entry slot. That single decision changes the entire experience. With a timed elevator ticket, you avoid the worst queues and dramatically reduce the amount of standing required. And if you have an official disability or reduced mobility card, the Eiffel Tower also offers reduced pricing for both you and one companion. And trust me, protecting your energy early on will make an enormous difference later. So head over to the Eiffel Tower website to choose your ticket. Remember, it's the elevator access to the second floor ticket. Part 2. The best time to visit. Here's something that most travel guides never mention. Your time slot matters almost as much as your ticket. If possible, avoid midday crowds, weekend afternoons, and summer evenings around sunset. And the reason for that is because those are the busiest and most exhausting times to visit. For older travellers, the sweet spot is usually early in the morning or late afternoon before dinner, because everything feels calmer at those times. The lines will move more smoothly, the elevators will feel less crowded, and the entire experience will feel far less overwhelming. And one important tip: make sure you arrive about 30 minutes before your ticket time, not 2 hours early. You still need to go through airport-style security before entering the tower grounds, but arriving too early usually just means more unnecessary standing. Part 3. Arriving at the Eiffel Tower. Now, let's talk honestly about what arriving actually feels like. The first thing you'll see is fencing, security checkpoints, and crowds moving in every direction. Take a deep breath. It looks more intimidating than it really is. Once you pass through security, you'll find yourself standing underneath the tower itself, and it's honestly an incredible moment. You suddenly realise just how massive the Eiffel Tower is. Now, look for the elevator entrances, not the stairs. If possible, head towards the west pillar entrance first. That's generally the main access point for visitors with reduced mobility, and there are ramps, level access routes, and staff available to assist you. You'll also see signs specifically directing visitors who need accessibility support. If you have mobility limitations, if you use a wheelchair, a walker, or a cane, or maybe you simply struggle with periods of long standing, go directly to a staff member and explain your situation. They are there to help. The Eiffel Tower does provide facilitated access for visitors with reduced mobility, and staff can often direct you towards shorter access routes or priority elevator access. And importantly, you do not need to figure it all out alone. The official staff are specially trained to help older visitors and guests with disabilities navigate the process more comfortably. So if you feel unsure at any point, simply ask. That alone can save a tremendous amount of energy. Part 5. The elevator ride. Now, if elevators make you feel nervous, let me reassure you. The elevators are large, enclosed, and surprisingly smooth. Yes, they can become crowded at busy times, that's to be expected, but the ride itself only lasts a few minutes, and then comes the moment everyone remembers. As the elevator rises through the iron beams, Paris slowly opens beneath you. The rooftops, the Seine River, the tiny streets stretching in every direction, it really is breathtaking. And thankfully, you don't need to climb a single stair to experience it. Part 5. Why I recommend skipping the summit. Now, I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I genuinely believe that most older travellers should skip the summit. And I mean that kindly, because the second floor is already spectacular. To reach the very top, you would have to exit on the second floor, wait in another long line, enter a much smaller elevator than the one you've just been in, and deal with tighter crowds and less seating. And for safety reasons, the summit isn't accessible for wheelchair users, visitors who may be using crutches, or maybe people with reduced mobility, because emergency evacuations may require stairs, so it's just not suitable. But here's the secret that most tourists don't realise. The second floor is actually the perfect level. You are high enough to see all of Paris, but low enough to actually recognise what you're looking at. You can clearly spot the highlights, the Seine River, Notre Dame, the Arc de Triomphe, and the beautiful Paris rooftops that stretch for miles. Your photographs are often better from here too, and most importantly, you avoid the most exhausting part of the entire experience. You are not missing out by skipping the summit, I'll promise you that. You are simply travelling smarter. Part 6. The hidden comfort zone that most tourists miss. This may be the most important tip in the entire video. If you get tired, you don't need to leave. Almost nobody talks about this. The first floor on the Eiffel Tower is actually one of the best resting spots in the whole of Paris. It's spacious, climate controlled, quieter than the upper levels, and filled with places to sit. If it's hot outside, go to the first floor. If it starts raining, go to the first floor. If your feet hurt, go to the first floor. You can sit indoors with a coffee while Paris stretches out beneath the windows. And that slower pace, honestly, it's part of what makes the experience so enjoyable. There are cafes, rest areas, accessible facilities, and comfortable lounge spaces where you can simply pause, relax, and enjoy the moment without feeling rushed. And during different seasons, the first floor often features relaxing terrace areas where you can quietly take in the views over Paris. And remember, there is no time limit once you're inside the tower. You can move slowly, you can take breaks, you can sit down, you can rest your legs, and experience Paris at your own pace. Because the goal here is not endurance, the goal for you is comfort. Part 7. Restrooms and practical comfort. Now, let's talk about something very important that many other travel videos will ignore. Restrooms. The good news is that accessible restrooms are available throughout the Eiffel Tower, including near the gardens, the first floor and the second floor, so you will be covered every step of the way. They are clearly marked, wheelchair accessible, and equipped for visitors with mobility limitations. That might sound like a small detail, but when you're travelling, knowing exactly where you can stop comfortably for rest or for a toilet break changes everything, especially in a city like Paris. Part 8. Final honest advice. So here's my honest advice after researching this carefully and walking through exactly what the experience involves. The Eiffel Tower absolutely can be enjoyable for older travellers, but only if you approach it differently to younger tourists. Do less, move slower, skip the summit, use the elevators, take breaks, protect your energy. You do not need to rush to have an unforgettable experience, and you do not need to have perfect knees. And you do not need endless stamina to enjoy one of the most beautiful views in the world. Travel does not stop at a certain age. If anything, it becomes more meaningful. And standing above Paris, taking your time and simply enjoying the moment, that's what this experience is really about. Well, that's a wrap for my first video on YouTube. If this video helped you feel more confident about visiting Paris and especially the Eiffel Tower, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel, it really does help. And in the comments, please tell me which famous landmark should I have a look at next and give some guidance about. Until next time, safe travels and take it easy.